oh, if something screws up on stage, we can just ha 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 ha.
Next question. Front row.
On the subject of the funny bits and stuff you guys do, like for ADH, that Wild West Kid and all that, how do you guys keep your composure? Like, how do you not bust a gut laughing?
I don't think we do. I crack up every time. I cracked up a few times last night too.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Some bits just get me every time. Usually the ma'am thing gets me. I'm glad we don't have the. Man, there's a specific one. Gosh, it's like, man, Spine, you really let yourself go. You used to be a contender. Yeah, I was there at age. That gets me every time. The worst part is no one really laughs at the joke. They laugh at my reaction to it. Like, we do a lot of things that because we think they're kind of funny. We're not really thinking like, oh, an audience won't know what the hell we're laughing at. Half our show is just us giggling. Jokes.
It's Rocky. Is that reference?
But yeah, also for some of the more repeated ones, we've heard them a million times and they're not funny anymore. But not the contender one, that wasn't.
Another question. In the back, Sailor Moon? I don't know which one you are.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
This is mostly directed at David. I know you guys all have incredible ranges. I was just wondering, obviously you guys went to school for it. What kind of techniques or like lifestyles, things like that, would you suggest to a singer to increase the range?
I guess the easy one would be don't smoke or drink or do drugs, because then you won't have any altered effects on your vocal cords, because that's where fluid goes in.
And don't gloat.
Yeah, everything goes down your throat, so, I mean, yeah, don't smoke and don't. That's what I do anyways. I mean, smoking's a pretty obvious one. Drink a lot of water, stay away from sugar, I guess. I mean, you can't help it, I guess. That's the easy thing to do. That's basically doing nothing, basically. For me, I don't have to worry about stuff. But I think Bunny and I started like taking choir in like senior year of high school because we didn't have any other classes to take. So we started there, and then I went into community college and I did some voice classes and some music theater, and that's where I got most of my training and stuff. And I was definitely like a lot really shaky when I started and stuff, but the more you do it, the more you screw up in front of your peers and stuff and just sound terrible and stuff. Eventually you get past that, and then it's like when you sound terrible on stage, you're like, who cares? You know, like when you're on like a CD, it's like you can take 20 takes and you know one of those takes can be good. So it's like it gets the pressure off as soon as you realize, oh, it doesn't really matter if you sound like crap on stage, because now when I listen to like live people and stuff, I hear all the mistakes anyways, and I'm like, you know, it doesn't even matter to me. Like, who cares? But yeah, for range and stuff, I guess you just have to be in, you can't, I don't think you can create more range, you just have to see what you're capable of doing. Like if I don't warm up, my range is a lot smaller. And if I do warm up, then it's a lot bigger. But I can't get any higher than I'm naturally allowed to.
You can stretch it.
I mean, yeah, if you're doing something.
Well, you got to warm up first, because if you try to bust it out, you're gonna pop a goiter or whatever. But yeah, you definitely warm up. I just sing in my car to songs that I know the lyrics to, and that usually gets me going. I start at like, you know, something simple, and then I move up to Muse or something, and I'm singing like in the falsetto range. Just warming up is essentially the key. In choir, I assume that they teach you scales that you can run up and down and all that jazz. But yeah, I mean,
If it hurts to sing something, then you're doing it wrong. That's basically what it is. So if you feel any pain when you're singing, then something's not happening correctly with what you're doing. And that's been reiterated a bunch when I was doing classes and stuff.
good question. Thank you.
Next question. Somewhere on the left. Let's go with a little spine there.
What made you have the idea to do a Japanese song live on stage?
What was the idea for doing a Japanese song?
Well, we love like anime in Japan in general, in some form or another, whether it's Cowboy Bebop or Big O or
Attack on Titan.
Attack on Titan.
Oh,
Yeah, we had the
because
idea for a
you
while,
wrote the
right?
dang song? Shoot.
Okay, yeah, so I guess I wrote it. We basically had Carolina, or Walter, or her fiance, did the translation for Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh, like the earlier ones. So he actually knew Japanese. He knew Japan. He speaks Japan real well. So basically, I wrote the song completely in English with the melody and everything, and you can actually hear that same song in English on our engineer too. So it has the one I sent him, and then he sat down with us, or Sam and I one night, and we kind of picked out this words that worked well with the syllables, and he had some ideas too because he kind of knew the culture. He lived in Japan and all that.
The dialects and all that crazy.
And not that we're like great at recreating what he did, but it was pretty convincing. Plus, it was fun because we were able to make this. For me, it was like combining the intro to every anime ever and the outro to every anime ever.
Yep.
Making it like upbeat and stuff, and that's all the melodies. Were just,
I think that colors it perfectly. Is that we wanted it to seem like, oh, this could be an anime TV show.
like
Theme
yeah,
song.
I mean, there's like so many melodies, like just little chord progressions that are like taken from a gazillion, like Samurai 7 and all that. Like
Yeah.
little. I mean, you've heard some of the things. It sounds like a Japanese thing because it's sung in Japanese, and it also is being emulated.
But we're lucky enough to have Paul help us translate it. That's
We should do other languages.
Sprechen Sie Deutsch?
Yeah.
That's all I know of.
It's become real popular at anime conventions. We do a lot of anime conventions too, so it's fit right in.
Yeah, good question. Thank you.
Next, someone on the right, red hair.
Well, all of your original songs are really amazing and brilliant, but the covers that I've seen of you guys are almost, well, they're better than the original songs. Do you guys have any plans for any more covers?
I don't think we'll ever get away. I'm working on like at least experimenting with like 3 covers right now. I don't think most of them will see the light of day, but it's kind of we're working on it. It's some future. Because obviously they're popular.
Well, one of us.
Are you working on?
I'm working on the entirety of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Heart.
That's funny. You don't even like the Beatles.
Doesn't matter.
Actually, no. Sam had great ideas. Bunny had some great ideas for covers. All of my ideas, the ones that we thought out, have been kind of like flop. The ones that I do, the ones that I'm like wake up at 1 a.m. in the morning, like I gotta do this, have been the most popular.
Yeah.
The ones that we put effort into, no.
I think there was a little bit of time when we were hesitant to accept that idea of doing covers because we were kind of jaded from the zoo. The zoo they initially wanted us to do like mostly cover songs, and we basically sprinkled in a few covers in between our regular songs. But and plus we like writing original songs, so it's kind of I don't want to be like we don't want to get pigeonholed. Pigeonholed. You know, the old P.
But it's kind of a lubricant to people who wouldn't otherwise listen to our band.
Yeah, well, we don't need those people.
Yeah,
We got enough fans here.
Diamond's brought in a lot of people who would never look at us just because it's a popular song. I just thought it was funny. This is a song that's normally sung by a woman in a higher pitched voice, and now it should be a deep voice.